we're on holiday at the moment, staying in an apartment in Florence in Italy, and we're going out with friends tonight, so we're having some quiet time back at the flat. And as it happens, it's raining at the moment, so I'm going to take the liberty of doing some flower arranging, and there's quite a few with these dried flower arrangements in the flat, and I thought I might amuse myself by rearranging them, because I think I can do it a bit better, look nicer for the next lot of people coming into the flat. So dried flower arrangement, and it's got flower foam in the bottom, and it's a bit dusty at the bottom here. So yeah, I'm going to get wicked. And I'm not going to cut anything. I didn't bring my floristry scissors with me, so I just thought I would take out what's here and rearrange it and see what else. So I've taken the arrangement apart, and I've found some little white flowers. Look like I'm not quite sure what they're supposed to be actually. Little cornflowers, like white cornflowers, and then some little, I guess the seed heads. Some pink here, which to me look like a lotus flower. And you flower arrangers will quite often use a lotus seed head in Christmas arrangement where it's dried out, and I ping the head off. But with all these artificial flowers, you can always put the heads back on and they hold steady. And the stem's fallen off there, and then some tiny little white that look like branches of blossom. And then here, I think they've got the shape of a freesia. They don't actually look like a freesia very much, but it's a freesia shaped thing there. And then a mass of greenery. So as with any flower arrangement, I'm going to start with the greenery first. So it's got this one stalk here, and what you can do with your dried flowers, your silk flowers, is you can move the leaves around a bit. They've all got a piece of wire running up the back, so you can manipulate it down a little bit and just change the shape so it's nice and big. So I'm going to put that back into the middle of the vase, and then add in my leaves underneath. So I'm going to start with the leaves that are the same shape as these big ones. That's got something else attached to it, and just feed those into the gaps so they're evenly spaced. And the flower foam's rocking around a bit because it wasn't taped in, but it did all seem to be quite well balanced, so there's no reason why it shouldn't work again. So just evenly interspersing the leaves. These ones here don't seem to have much of a stem, and these ones are, I think, from the lotus flower head, so I should put those down in. Let's have some down quite low. Up a bit, so just give me a bit of green, a bit of shape for starting off. I'm then going to put in my biggest flowers first. So this flower, 2 full flowers and a bud, and then these are unattractive stalks which presumably had leaves or flowers in them. I might bend those out of the way so you can't see them anymore. And I don't want to cut anything, number one because I haven't got any scissors to cut, but of course these flowers don't belong to me. So I'm going to put those big ones in the middle and see if I can bend the flower down a bit. Again, it's on metal, so just to make it sort of have a slightly more natural look to it. So I've got those in like that, just bent them down a bit. Have one across the other side. Again, just putting the flowers in quite evenly. And another quite stalky bit here as well. I'm going to move those flowers down and bend that stalk out of the way. And where I think I've got some flowers that are too close together, again, if I just bend the flower a little bit to just separate them a bit so they start to look slightly more natural. And then I shall come back in with the freesia type of flower. I'm aiming here push them in where I've got a gap. And starting at the bottom first of all, so between the bigger sleeves, pushing the flowers down. And when I want them to go in a bit shorter, I could always bend over the bottom there. As long as I can just recess, push it in down closer. And each time I put the flowers in, they've got this bend on them, and I'm always making sure the bend comes out towards the edge of the arrangement. I'm not putting them in that way. So they're all flowing in the same direction, and constantly turning the bowl round so it can be viewed from any side. And here the leaf area was a bit short, so I wanted to push it up a bit further down the stem. And again, I can shorten the stem by bending over the end of the wire. So I'm just making sure that flows out. I think I should put one more in, and that's the freesia type flower then has gone in across the bottom, so I've done a circle of flowers around the bottom. I think something just fell off there. If I move that around, the flowers have all been put down quite low. So then I can come in and create another circle of flowers coming up a little bit into the centre. So I'm going to push that flower up, the leaf up, bend the bottom of the stem and layer the flowers in. So where I've got two of the freesias, I shall aim the third one into the gap between them, and that way I know they're being distributed evenly throughout the arrangement. There's quite a lot of flowers, this small bowl. And then coming up towards the centre. This flower looks a bit tall there. So at this stage I'm going to decide where the front's going to be. So I've got the flowers distributed all the way throughout, but this arrangement did come from, it was leaning up against a wall. So at this stage I'm going to decide where the front's going to be. I've got two flowers facing me, so that's going to be the front of the arrangement as I put the last lot of flowers in. Sometimes if you lose sight of where the front's going to be, you end up with a sort of skew-if arrangement. So it needs to look really good from the front edge, but also to look about it, have the flowers around the back as well. That one's bothering me on the side. I'm going to push that leaf up and just set that down a little bit lower so it hangs over the edge of the container. And then these two flowers here, a little bit higher again. So I've got a sort of pleasantly mounded shape. I seem to have lost the stem of that, so I shall tuck that in really low at the bottom. I can just balance on the edge. So I've used up all the freesia. It's quite blocky in the middle. If I turn that round, that's my front. It's very pink in the middle, so I want to break that up a little bit with the little white flowers, look like cornflowers. And I've got 3 stems of those. So I'm going to put them in to really accentuate where the front of the arrangement is. So you're going to see the pink of the lotus flower head, and then 3 placements of the white flower going through the arrangement there. So 1, 2, 3. And then to break everything up with the little spring branches, just to dot those around to break up the solidity of the arrangement. Here, again, I've got a spike up there. I can bend that out of the way. If I was making this at home, I'd be cutting some of these off a little bit shorter so they could fit in, splay out. I can weave those in amongst the flower heads, make it look more natural. Again, I can hang them out from the edge of the bowl, bending the flower stems down so they do what I want them to do, rather than just poking up at odd angles and then feeding them through the flower heads. So just breaking up the mass. A lovely long stem there. that to the side. I can bend that round just so it lies on the edge of the table a little bit. And then some individual stems as well. So now whenever I see a gap, push those in. And my last piece across the top. I'm bending that round the back just to lose some of the height there. It's a bit long and traily, but I can push it in and bend it round so it does what I want it to do. And then I'm left with the stem. If I put that flower down into that stem, I could add that leaf in. That's towards the middle, just leaf coming through. Now it's a bit too solid there. I'll push that in around the back instead. And then there were these odd bits of leaf that were left. I don't want to miss anything out that was in there originally. Again, because it's a silk flower arrangement, and now I've got so many flowers pushed in, I can cheat a little bit and just position them where I want them to go, rather than actually making sure they're inside the flower foam, because there's enough in there now it's going to hold everything up. And there is the finished arrangement. So just freshened up a little bit, dusted off and freshened up. I shall put that back on the side, give me a little bit of pleasure, and hopefully it will for the next people that are staying in the apartment. So I'll sign off now, and don't forget, if you enjoyed this little video, do give it a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I'll be sharing handy hints and tips on flower arranging. See you again soon.